This episode is brought to you by Savio House. The holidays are so much more than the hustle and bustle of finding the greatest presents. It's about finding the magic in the little moments of spending time with family. Across Denver, kids are at risk of being separated from the only home they know due to life's toughest obstacles: addiction, violence, legal trouble. Savio steps in when crisis happens to get families back on track and make sure young people grow up with a loving family. Donate today at saviohouse.org/CityCast. That's SAVIO house.org/CityCast. Today on CityCast Denver, we're taking on one of the most controversial topics in Denver: green chili. What exactly makes for the perfect version of this iconic culinary staple? And where in this city can you get the good stuff? Our green chili correspondent is on the case. Today is Monday, November 27th. I'm Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. CityCast Denver politics and green chili correspondent Justine Sandoval. Hello.
Hello.
So we're tapping into your other wealth of knowledge on this show. We talked to you a lot about politics, but we also talked to you about green chili. And you've compiled your list of top 5 spots around the Mile High for green chili. But before we get there, I think we need to establish, what is green chili in this context?
Yeah. So there's a lot of debate, and I've done a lot of research in the last few weeks to really see what the opinions are of the people.
Okay.
So, we've seen some other green chili lists, and there were some things on there that I didn't necessarily consider green chili.
Same.
Yes. So there is green chili, and then there is salsa verde or chili verde. So the one thing that's the same is the chili, but like a salsa verde or chili verde.
Like the pepper itself.
Yes, the pepper itself.
Okay.
That is the green chili. And there's different types from Anaheim to Hatch to our Pueblo chilies here. So the key ingredient there is the green chili.
Okay.
But the difference between a chili verde or a salsa verde versus the green chili that we eat here is the green chili here is more of like a complete meal in consistency, whereas the other one's more of like a condiment that would be added. But you can also use the green chili here as an addition.
And I think I want to dig more into like what it makes it a meal. So it's like its texture, its consistency, its color, describe that.
So Colorado green chili, it has a texture that is stew-like or gravy-like. And a lot of people think that the gravy thing is a negative thing, but I think that's what the consistency is.
We use it as a gravy.
Exactly. Yes, very much. Always on the mashed potatoes, you need your chili.
But it's so it's thicker like a gravy in terms of and then when we say gravy, it's like something you put on other things, or you can eat. I eat it by the bowl.
Yeah, you can eat a bowl of it. And I think that the key to it is it has to be liquid enough, but not too watery and not too thick. And it should be able to easily spread evenly over the dish that you're adding it to.
So versus like a salsa where it may just sit on the top of something, this is spreads out, sort of overtakes the plate.
Yes. That is how I would define Colorado green chili versus other type of chili. And the other thing, too, is the ingredients.
Yes.
Because like a salsa verde, we usually has like a tomatillo base, tomato base, whereas you can have green chili here that has either just the green chili and tomatoes, but like I said, it's more that stew consistency.
And also, I would say, I think a key component to me, too, is pork.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's what sticks out to me when I think Colorado green chili. I think there's those big chunks of really tender pork.
Yes, diced pork. I will accept some hamburger chili in a pinch. Sometimes that is tasty in its own. But yeah, it usually is diced pork and, of course, the chili, onions, tomato, garlic, and that's pretty much it. Salt and really simple. I think that the key to good green chili is that all of your ingredients should showcase the chili and shouldn't overpower
the chili.
Exactly. Like the chili is the star and everything else complements it.
On the heat scale, I know you being able, you can eat fire. It doesn't bother you. Is there a level that you find the perfect green chili to be at, or does that matter to you?
Yeah, I mean, I've had green chili that is so hot, it's almost unenjoyable. Like, it's painful to get through. I mean, you get through it, but it's not the greatest experience. So I think anything that's just hot enough to give you that kick where you're really getting to taste the flavor without being overpowered by heat is the best green chili you can have.
Yeah. And I really want to go back just quickly before we move on to your actual list. When you say like salsa verde or, like what is what is it not? Like when we're talking about that, what is green chili not in that context? Because I think I saw that on these lists a little bit. Was like, is it cold?
No, it can be warm, and you'll see it a lot of time in other regions outside of New Mexico, which is that's what I refer to Southern Colorado and New Mexico. Outside of Mexico, you'll have like the wet burrito.
This is this is a West Coast.
Yes, a
thing,
West Coast
right?
thing. You'll see it in Texas often too, but a wet burrito, which the sauce is more runny, like a thinner salsa consistency. It doesn't have meat in it usually from what I've seen. I'm like, nobody come after me. I should have done a disclaimer like, these are all my opinions. Nobody come and jump me with their tia and get all mad later on.
No, I just think it's helpful to clarify because, like I said, we'll share these two lists. There was a list, I think, from Westward and then from Denver Post, which had some really admirable ones on there, but there were some questionable ones when it came to the actual description of what we think green chili is.
Yes.
Rehearsals for the school play were really coming along.
Bigger smile, Mr. Squirrel?
Until a custodian accidentally threw away the costumes.
Oh, no.
Everyone was rattled. Miss Garrity forgot how to play. And the Queen of the Hedgehogs almost quit.
Find a new queen.
But replacement costumes were shipped with FedEx. And with added peace of mind from picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Maruchan superfans are everywhere. From the busy moms who want to deliver maximum flavor in a flash to dorm room diners who want to put some slurp in their step. There are a ton of copycats you could use. But if you want to bless your bowl, there's only one true Maruchan. Whether you choose instant lunch, ramen bowls, yakisoba, or restaurant quality gold, Maruchan is the only ramen worth obsessing over. Smiles for all. Maruchan. See what all the ramen hype is about at maruchan.com.
So based on your description of what you believe green chili to be in this research you've done, let's start with your number 5 pick.
Okay, so my number 5 is a Denver classic, and they're actually really famous for their fried tacos, but it is Mexico City.
Okay.
Yeah, very hot, which I like about Mexico City's green chili. And it has the consistency that I'm pretty used to growing up.
The soupy gravy.
Yeah.
And what do you get it on when you go there?
So I usually get the tacos, but when I do order the green chili, I like to get the chili rellenos smothered.
Okay. Would you describe a chili relleno for somebody who doesn't maybe know?
Yeah, a chili relleno is another delicious treat you can have from green chilies. But there's 2 different ways you can make them. There's more the traditional way, which is the soft version, and it's usually battered in like egg whites and flour, and it's
the
stuffed
chili
with
itself.
cheese, the chili,
Yeah.
and then it's deep fried. Or you could do hard, or they usually wrap it in like a
The
egg roll
wonton
type
wrapper? Okay.
which is like a more modern Americanized version of the chili relleno. Both delicious.
Mexico City, that's one of our like staple places here for Denver or Colorado style Mexican food.
Yes.
For sure. What's your number 4?
Number 4, this is another downtown staple. They've been there a long time, and I think they get overlooked, but Di Corazon.
I have never been there.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're really good. It's solid Mexican food downtown, which is kind of sparse.
That can be sketchy
Yeah.
downtown for some reason.
Yeah, and you get a lot of tourist spots that pop up that might not necessarily be the best Mexican cuisine. But like I said, Di Corazon has been there many years now. I think since I was in college at Metro State, they've been open, and they've moved locations over time, but they're still solid. Another place where I like to get a good chili relleno smothered.
And what's their level of spice? Like, what it really sticks out to you about this chili? At
Yeah,
Di
I
Corazon?
think their chili is pretty medium. It's not necessarily spicy, but it's very solid.
Okay. Just like consistent every time you go, it's the same. You know what you're going to get.
Totally.
And what is your number 3?
Okay, number 3 was a little controversial for me because I had to really think it over, like where my love and loyalty for this chili falls. But it was Chubby's.
Oh, Chubby's is number 3, right in the middle.
Yeah, Chubby's. I need to do some deeper research and find out exactly how the chili is made. But it's kind of its own unique consistency. It's that really funky yellow color. And you don't know, people think there's cheese in it, but there's not cheese in it. It's actually, I think it's more of a tomato paste base. So it makes it that
Gives it
color.
that- sure.
It's very flour heavy. But I will say that the thing that always keeps Chubby's solid choice is it's hot.
I was going to say it is so spicy.
It's spicy. And so when I'm looking for that good kick, and it's very heavy on the chili flavor. So if you're going and you want that like cheesy green chili, but we have to add the cheese, but the cheesy green chili consistency, it's just perfect.
How does cheese play into green chili for you?
So I would never usually like think that cheese was necessary. Like if I was eating a bowl of green chili or I was eating it as a side dish or as a side on my plate. But I think it's fine. Depending on like what you're eating. Chile relleno has cheese, a bean and cheese burrito with some chili.
I was going to
it's
say
delicious.
my favorite is just a bean burrito with green chili cheese on the top.
Yep, that's it. That's all you need.
So it's an
in life.
addition, but you don't need it
Exactly.
for the quintessential chili, Colorado green chili experience. Okay, number 2.
Okay, number 2, there was some back and forth on number 2 because there's some ownership changing in this restaurant and people think the chili tastes different. I went and confirmed this last week and it tasted the same to me. So number 2 was Javier's Diner on 38th and Tennyson in North Denver. Really solid chili. Really hot and delicious. And it's one of my favorite places actually to get a breakfast burrito, a smothered breakfast burrito.
So when you do a breakfast burrito with green chili, what is your makeup of your breakfast burrito?
So I am definitely a handheld burrito person. I'm not usually a smothered person.
Sure.
So I like my chili inside, and I like it to be thick enough that it's not going to like spill out when I'm trying to, drive and eat my burrito. Maybe I should say when I'm trying to do all kinds of other things to eat my burrito. But it needs to be able to go in my purse and be portable so I can take my burrito around with me. And so that's very important. Is the chili going to stay within my burrito while it's being transported around town for the day?
And that's what you can get at Javier's.
No. So that's the opposite. Javier's is when I'm feeling like I have the time to sit down and, really fork and knife, enjoy it. That is Javier's.
That's how you do a
solid
breakfast
choice.
burrito there. Okay. And you said that there's been management or ownership change recently?
Yeah,
Is that what people
that's what
give
people
us the
told
gossip?
me. Yeah, the gossip line. Apparently, there was a divorce between Javier and his wife.
Oh, no.
And I think she is now in charge. So it's not that much of a difference in
Yeah.
recipe. It's not like completely
This
different
feels
people.
like a divorce spat that someone has turned into.
Yeah, well,
business.
I will say some of the info I got, they were very pro Javier, the person.
Okay.
So I think that could have played in. So that's why I had to go test it for myself, and it tastes the same.
I feel like this is what happened at Jack and Grill too. I think the Jack and Grill folks got a divorce.
Yes,
and then
they got a
They
divorce.
just closed.
Yeah, because they were fighting because there was 2 restaurants.
Yeah.
It was in the paper and everything. Yeah, I remember that.
I love that restaurant gossip. It's so good. So, okay, we're down to number 1, and it's not Chubby's.
No.
So, who is it?
Okay, number 1. And I really confirmed this was number 1 because I saw a picture of it and I was like, ooh, that looks like green chili that I would eat. And I was like, oh, it's La Casita.
Okay. I can get down with that. So La Casita, folks don't know, this is a Northside staple. Known honestly for their tamales, right?
Yes.
I would say. But what do you love about their green chili?
I think La Casita's green chili just hits closest to my heart and home for me. It reminds me a lot of the green chili my mom makes. And it's very heavy on the chili part. So the consistency is a lot more green. So you're getting a lot more of that delicious chili. It has the pork chunks. And like I said, all the ingredients really complement the chili first and foremost. So yeah, it tastes like home to me. It's the closest thing I can get on the streets besides going to my mom's house. So La Casita.
What do you get it
number
on?
1.
What's your
So that's another place where I enjoy a smothered breakfast
burrito.
burrito. I like an egg, potato, bacon smothered with green chili.
That sounds so good.
Yeah.
Right now. So I know you really dug into some research for this. I would love like someone who's brand new to this green chili conversation. We know this is such an identifying part of who we are as a city. Can you give us like the too long didn't read version of the origins of our green chili here in Denver and Colorado?
Yeah. So green chili didn't arrive in Colorado till about 1840. And it actually arrived when Mexico had granted lands to wealthy Mexicans south of the Arkansas Valley and in the San Luis Valley, hoping that they can establish more residency because they were in conflict over claims of the territory between Texas and America. So they were sending people to live in the San Luis Valley. So there's a history of a lot of families who are from that area.
Yours included, right?
Yes. And they came in that 1840. I've learned this. I was like, oh, that makes so much sense now. Okay. So it came in 1840. It came from people who were settled in New Mexico already who had brought New Mexico green chili.
Which is a crop. It makes sense. Sure.
Totally. And it really only grew in southern Colorado, especially in Pueblo. They found that to be an ideal region for it to grow. And the type of chili is Mirasol. When I was little, I always thought it was called Marisol, like the name.
Yeah.
But it's Mirasol, and it means look towards the sun because
Sure.
the peppers grow up towards the sun in Pueblo, that specific strand of chili pepper. So that's how chili arrived in Colorado. And it really took off that particular type of chili in Pueblo, and it's been grown there ever since.
That is so fascinating. And I'm assuming you may have come across some of this, but there's always this drama between us and New Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
What do you make of that when it comes to the research you've done around our chili story?
Yeah, well, this is another time for me to advocate against borders because that's really what caused this debate. Because the chili is all technically like from the same region, and before there was a border,
It was
we changed all these
area.
lines.
Yeah.
Totally. So even though people will say that Coloradans don't have real green chili or our green chili is inferior to Hatch. We are the same people. Like we're literally your cousins, Colorado cousins. So we're just carrying on the same traditions, eating the same ancient crop that our ancestors ate for thousands of years.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't really have this type of divide. I think it's silly personally, but it is a big thing because it's business.
Yes.
That's what it really comes down to. Pueblo grows the least when it comes to overall
Chili
chili
production.
production in the world. But they do grow a good amount. I don't have all of the numbers, but then Hatch is second.
New Mexico chili.
New Mexico chili.
Okay.
And then the rest of the world's green chili is grown by Mexico, majority of it.
And
So
again, we're thinking of a region that just runs
it runs
right
all the
through.
way from north to south. So it's really been a staple in our diets forever, and it continues to be. And it's one thing I found interesting in my research. If you Google green chili, the first thing that comes up is Hatch. They don't even call it green chili. They just Hatch has bought the Google algorithms or whatever, however that works.
They are trying to beat us with that.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I need some just general chili stuff, but everything comes in Hatch green chili, New Mexico green chili. So yes, they dominate.
So I want to think about I know you've kind of mentioned this, you love green chili on a burrito, you love it on a relleno. Is there a quintessential way to eat green chili to you? Is it the smothered? Is it the bowl of it? Is it a side? How do you see it when someone says Colorado green chili?
Well, when I think about eating chili, I always think of my mom or my grandma or aunts. They would invite you over and say, I made chili. And I knew exactly what you were going to get. That was pot of green chili, usually beans, whole pinto beans, and fideo, which fideo, a lot of people really like Spanish rice. I prefer fideo. I grew up with fideo.
This is a whole other show we could do, but fideo is I call it it's kind of like SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
Not to diss it, but it's like vermicelli. I know. And also I have a friend, Marie from La Junta, and I think they just call it vermicelli.
Yeah.
That's just what they call it.
I've heard it called that too.
But it's
my
the
grandma
vermicelli
said.
noodles in a tomatoey sauce.
Yeah, you fry the noodles up dry, and then once they get nice and crispy and you have your onions and garlic in there, you usually put if you do the Lay's style, you do some canned tomato and some water and cook it up. It's delicious. So yeah, I would have a plate with beans, fideo, my green chili, and a tortilla on the side, fresh and slightly burnt.
Slightly burnt from putting it on the gas stove because that's what I do.
You have to toast it. It's tradition.
I'm like, is that a terrible thing? I do that all the time.
It's the only way.
Okay. I love that. I would love to think of this as a primer for someone who's like, I'm walking into the green chili debate for the first time. How do I know where to start? The other thing I guess I would just ask is like, how do you prep to become somebody who can handle spicy food?
Oh, okay. Well, I think I've shared the story before of how my grandmother would train us.
Oh, yeah, that's right. To chew the chili.
Yeah, she would give us a jalapeno stem
stem
or the chili stem just to kind of get your...
So start slow.
Yeah, start slow. See how much heat you can take. And there's no shame in not being able to eat the hottest of the hot because there is some hot chili out there. But yeah, keep
trying.
Turning it up a notch every time you go. Add a little more heat. And I think that before you know it, you'll be a champion green chili eater.
And no one will know that this was your second time or third time eating green chili.
Exactly.
Well, Justine, thank you so much.
It was my pleasure.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed this show, why not take a minute to tell the owners of Mexico City Restaurant and Lounge about us? Rate the show wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe to our morning newsletter and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See ya!
Because if you go to New Mexico, they will give you green chili sometimes that's just diced up green chili, like seasoned.
Just not like
That's it. Like you get a Blake Slaughter burger and there's just like diced chili on it. Whereas if you get a green chili burger here, Chevy's is putting a ladle of green chili on it. Yeah.